But your thought when you were drafted by the Phillies in the 40th round?
I thought last year I was supposed to get drafted and never happened. And this year there was talk about me getting drafted, and I thought it was a pretty high chance. And came about the 37th round, and I turned the draft tracker off. And then about 15 minutes after that, my phone started blowing up, so I was like, it just happened. And I mean, at the moment when my phone was blowing up, my family told me what happened. It kind of hit me. It didn't quite hit me, but it hit me, and it was breathtaking. It was what I've worked for my entire life, and it was unexplainable how I felt.
Coming from a relatively small town here in Ligonier, what was it like to know that you're on the radar for Major League Baseball? I mean, it doesn't get any bigger than that.
Right. It was shocking. You know, you grow up here, and a lot of people dream and wish that it could happen, and I actually went out and chased the dream and worked for it and just went after it, and it came. And I don't know. It still hasn't really truly hit me, but it's crazy.
And then you flew out pretty soon after to Philadelphia. What was that experience like? I saw you got to meet some current players, I guess, from the Phillies?
Yeah, I met Jake Arrieta. He shook my hand and congratulated me. And I mean, that dude, you know he's huge on TV, but he's a lumberjack in real life. And I mean, the experience out in Philly, the organization, everyone I met out there was truly appreciated. They're a great organization.
What was that process like of obviously they want you, but you have to get something that's comfortable for you in terms of negotiating?
Right.
And what was that, I guess, back and forth like?
When I was out there, we really didn't negotiate. I was up there for 4 days. 3 of the 4 days I got up at 5 a.m. I had a physical one day, I had blood work one day, and I had MRIs and x-rays one day. So we really didn't negotiate out there. They wanted to get my results, and we just did everything that needed to get out of the way before the negotiation started.
Where are you in your decision process? Because you played 2 years of JUCO ball, and obviously you've got 2 years of eligibility remaining. You could go back to school. You could sign. What's your situation?
Right. Not a lot of people know this, but I've decided to decline the offer from the Phillies and go back to St. Leo for hopefully a year and wish for the best next June.
Where is St. Leo?
St. Leo is 30 minutes north of Tampa Bay. It's in Dade City, Florida.
And why was that your decision? What were some of the factors that led you to thinking, hey, this is the right decision?
Our head coach out there and our pitching coach, Rick Odette, he's the head and pitching coach. He has had multiple professional offers, had multiple D1 offers, and I feel like working with him a year after just working with Coach Schaefer down at Kankakee, working with Odette a year will develop me and make me a lot healthier to have high hopes come next June.
Kind of an interesting situation, because when did you have Tommy John?
I had Tommy John August 25th of 2017.
So you only, if I looked at the numbers right, you only pitched in like 3 games this year.
Yeah, I came back 8.5 months out, and which is unrealistic for anyone really, because most pros don't come back to about 12 to 14 months out. Came back 8.5 months out. I think they topped me on the gun at 94. I had the Chicago Cubs PT come in and say, this is unrealistic. This kid is not supposed to be throwing this hard. This shouldn't be happening. You guys need to shut him down, especially since he's a draft prospect. So we had talks, and they decided to shut me down for the rest of the year.
So you only pitched in 3 games, but still got drafted coming off Tommy John. That's a pretty impressive scenario.
Yeah, my first game back from Tommy John, I'll probably never forget. I faced 7 batters. I K'd 6 and walked 1.
That's not too shabby.
No.
For you, what was that process like, knowing that obviously you want to go through it as fast as possible to showcase what you have, but also you want to take care of your arm long term if this does become, a career for you?
Right. Well, I talked to my doctor, Dr. Hartzell, before I had surgery, and he said that with the new Tommy John, how it is nowadays, that it could be a quicker recovery. So I had a goal after surgery. I was going to be back in 8 months. And I just kept telling my coaches that, and they're like, you're crazy, it's not going to happen. And I just continued to push through therapy. I pushed through the throwing protocol I had to do, pushed through my bullpens, and I got back in 8.5 months and showed them I could do it.
Well, the year before, obviously, you played a starring role in Kankakee's Junior College National Championship.
Right.
So what was it like being on the mound, being at the bottom of the dog pile when you guys did win that championship? Your freshman year.
Right. We actually, the dog pile in regional, they smashed my glove. So coming to the national championship, I was ready for it, and I chucked it. But being at the bottom of that, I mean, it was it was the first dream come true besides getting drafted, obviously now, but that national championship, I mean, that's what we worked for the entire year, and we had high hopes, but we went down and lost our first game, and we didn't think it was possible, and we came back and won 7 straight and showed them that we could do it.
What are you most looking forward to about playing collegiately next year? Because I think most people think, okay, he's a drafted guy, he's going to go to some big college, but
right.
It sounds like St. Leo is going to be a fit for you.
St. Leo is in a powerhouse D2 conference, and it's down in Florida, so the weather's going to be warm, and I'm not going to have to put up with cold weather like I have been in the Midwest here recently. But I'm excited to get down there in warm weather and throw to a great competition down at that level. And I'm just excited to get down to work with Coach Odette and the guys in August.
How difficult was that decision between, you know, reaching an ultimate goal of being a professional baseball player, getting paid to play this game, and, you know, another year of college?
It was the hardest decision of my life. I've been stressed the last 2 weeks, more stressed than I've ever been, actually. And I mean, I've had more phone calls between coaches and the Phillies than I've ever imagined would happen. But I mean, choosing pro ball or college ball was hard because, I mean, I've been working to be a professional athlete, and it's here, but I feel like one more year of college is the best route for me to go about to hope for the best next June.